148 on WGN Radio. Since the market kind of fell all apart in, 2007, we have been inviting a guy named Bob Westrick on the show. He would often appear with me and Orion Samuelson. We talk about the Dow, we talk about housing, we talk about economic issues, and then I would yell at Bob a lot, and then he would set me straight. I'd say Bob's been on with us probably 100 times in that time period. Bob is with a company called Private Vista. And Private Vista, right? Private Vista is their website. You may have heard us do commercials for them lately. Bob's in our studio today. Hi, Bob. How are you?
Doing well, John. How are you doing?
What do you make of this whole Cubs thing?
What Cubs thing? Just the foul ball, John?
No, let's talk about the Cubs in the World Series. Are the Cubs going to win today?
Yes, they are.
That's what. Even if you're wrong, that's how I want the guy that's helping me manage my money. I want him to just feel confident in what he's saying and doing. Cubs are going to, and the final score is going to be
4-2, John.
Bertrand, are you writing this down? You can go ahead and write the 5 o'clock news. Cubs are going to win 4-2. And that's with the wind blowing in. You factored that in, right,
Absolutely.
Mr.? You have a degree from the University of Chicago, don't you?
I do.
So then you would know about these sorts of things. The Cubs are going to win 4-2. Well, Bob, thanks for swinging by. That's Bob Westrick, who is a partner at Private Vista. What do you say you guys do over there? You help people manage their money? No.
We do that and a lot more, actually. We're a wealth management firm, and money management, resource management is one of the things we do. But Private Vista is kind of the place where life decisions and financial resources intersect. There's a lot of folks out there, you probably heard, what's my number? And finding what your number is very important.
How much money I should have so I can retire someday.
Absolutely. But what the studies show is happiness in retirement, happiness after you sell a business, happiness after divorce, things like that. There's a lot more to that than just your number. We try to bridge the life decisions and financial decisions.
So when I say that you guys have an evolved approach to this, it's not just the number crunching then. It's talking about things beyond just the numbers. So you gave Brenda and I this good life inventory, right?
Exactly.
So it's, 30 questions. I said to Brenda this morning, I said, okay, there's 30 questions here. You score your attitude about these 30 questions, 1 to 7. 7 means yes, and 1 means absolutely no.
That's right.
We answer questions about, I am living the life, I am living my own vision of a good life. I keep the small promises I make to myself. I am living in my ideal place. I feel at home in my house. I feel like I belong in my community. Questions like, I spend the right amount of time with my friends. My relationships make me happy. I have a clear reason to get up in the morning. I have a healthy spiritual life. It's funny that you're asking us these kinds of questions. Why?
We do that, John, because when you inventory things like this in your life, you inventory things that give you satisfaction and make you happy. And we call this your Private Vista. And this provides the context in which you view your most important financial decisions. So it's one thing to have money and say, okay, I can retire. It's another thing to say, how am I going to enjoy my retirement? What am I going to do? What's going to give my life purpose in my next stage of life?
So if I determine that I'm not all that happy, then I need to figure out what's going to make me happy and then see if I have the resources to do that.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
We found out, this is funny because you know Brenda, you know me. Brenda was a lot more optimistic or happier about where we are right now than I am. I was answering these questions, and 1 to 7, I had 4s on some of these. I consider I'm a successful guy. I'm disease-free, largely speaking. I should be happier than this. And I'm answering these, and I've got some 4s here. I don't have hardly any 7s here.
Well, what's interesting about John is we give this to the spouses or person and their significant other, their partner, and it's almost like financial pre-Cana. If you ever saw people in pre-Cana,
yes,
they would ask you, "Well, do you want to have kids?" And one goes, "Sure," and the other one goes, "What?" So a lot of times, even with couples, they've never really discussed, hey, after you sell your business or after retirement or whatever. Hey, where do we want to live? What do we want to do to give our life purpose and meaning?
So your point is not just, okay, how are we going to get the money? It's how are we going to make you happy if you have the money?
Absolutely. Life is just a lot more about what's your number.
What a nice problem to have. Is anybody who has the money unhappy? No,
Yes.
they've got the money.
No, there's a lot of people who have the money who are unhappy.
They retire and then they're not happy.
Exactly. A lot of people...
I want to be that guy, Bob.
John, you don't want to be that guy. Because what happens is a lot of people view retirement as what you're leaving, not what you're starting. And we've had clients say, boy, I wish I would have talked to you when I retired because I didn't realize that I went from a job that gave me self-esteem and satisfaction. But hey, I had the money, so I wanted to live the good life of retirement.
So you're talking to people about stuff like that?
Sure.
I would think that your job would just be enough to say, here's the number, see ya.
Well, that's the old school. That's why we say we're wealth management, evolved. What we did, we were one of the first firms back in the early 80s and middle 80s to start with financial planning and then, money management and that sort of thing. And now we're into kind of like the next evolution, and money is not an end in and of itself.
The company is Private Vista, and your website is myprivatevista.com. That's where I'm supposed to go, right?
Yeah, John, and I invite people to go to our resource center on that website because we have articles, videos, and books. And in terms of what you just did with the survey that you filled out, what we have things that give life purpose, or things like community, family, physical health, spirituality, volunteerism, things like that. And we have the website resources focused around that. So if you want to know, hey, I want some more information on physical health, there's articles, videos, and books that you can just click on and get that information.
Do you have like a couch in your office then? People come in, they lay down, and they say, you just ask, how do they feel? And then they say, well, I'm troubled, Bob. And then they reveal them dark secrets to you. Is that what you guys do?
No.
You should do that. You should get a couch.
Not.
And then the people will lay down there, and then they'll tell you all of this stuff.
But interestingly, what people, say is, wow, I've never had my financial advisor ask me these questions. This is really, really interesting and important.
So Brenda and I are looking at each other, or at least I'm looking at Brenda, and I'm like, oh, do I even want to have this conversation? I mean, there's a lot to unpack here.
John, you must have this conversation.
Yeah. MyPrivateVista.com. MyPrivateVista.com. Nice to see you, Bob.
Thanks, John. Great to be back. Thank you.
Bob Westrick, he's a managing partner over there.